Hello, and welcome to your occupation, as part of what corporate has dubbed Project Deepdive, range opening. In this short video, we will discuss a few of the bizarre creatures that you can expect to run into in both night swims and deep-sea expeditions. Specifically, we will discuss 5 of the very first species in the triangle to be discovered by renowned explorer, author and biologist William Beebe in his deep-sea expeditions of the early 1930s. This quintet is known as Beebe's abyssal fishes, though it is important to note that none of these species are truly fish. In fact, they are all members of a group of creatures completely unknown to science until recently, and which is still being researched in the pursuit of knowledge. However, for simplicity, they will be referred to by the names given to them by William Beebe, when they were presumed to be fish. Before we start, remember to always use proper protection and be careful not to disturb any of the creatures you do encounter during any operations. There is a very real risk of being injured or even killed, if you do not stay vigilant and cautious. With this disclaimer out of the way, let us delve into the details of Beebe's abyssal fishes. Pallet sailfins are scavengers in the ecosystem of the triangle. Their bodies are heavily armored, and they can usually be found slowly floating through the water. Their sickly green coloration is in line with their diets of whatever corpses fall to the abyssal plane, and though they appear toothless upon first glance, they have a secondary set of jaws with jagged teeth for ripping the flesh from the bones. Fortunately, they are not active predators, and their heavy armor makes them relatively placid around other creatures. Of course, this does not give an excuse to forego standard precautions. If you lose a hand, it will be your fault. Giant dragonfish are one of the most common predators you will encounter in the triangle. Their bodies are lined with dozens of bright blue glowing eyes, and 2 flashy tendrils extend from their undersides and end with a blue and red light. They swim in a serpentine fashion and are generally solitary, only seeking others of their kind to mate with or, if prey becomes too scarce. If you see a string of blue lights in the dark, do not approach. They are highly territorial, not wary of humans, and can deliver a nasty bite if they feel you are challenging them. Fine-lined constellation fish are tenacious pack hunters that should be avoided at all costs. They are not very large, and their large grid of glowing purple-yellow eyes would make them easy to spot. However, they never travel alone, and will blink their eyes in specific patterns to communicate with other members of their shoal. When they find suitable prey, typically larger creatures, they will use their sharpened proboscises to repeatedly stab their prey. Once their prey is deceased, they frenzy around exposed points and drain them of their bodily fluids. Never leave shelters or submersibles without sufficient armor. You will not see them coming until it's too late. Three-starred anglerfish are very common in juvenile form. When they are young, they are timid but curious, and will prey on anything smaller than them. Most of these juveniles will never make it to adulthood, as the triangle is a hostile and unforgiving ecosystem, but the few that do become untouchable apex predators. Colloquially dubbed serpents, these leviathans can only be threatened by others of their kind. Juveniles can bite, so it is best to be wary and try to scare them away from trying their luck on your diving gear. May God have mercy on your soul, if you catch the attention of an adult. Abyssal rainbow gars are endoparasites that were only discovered since Beebe's initial sighting after dissections of other specimens in modern times. They remain in the deepest reaches of the triangle, and sit in the water vertically. This, along with their lack of body armor, makes them unorthodox for fauna of the triangle. However, they do this because their entire body is bioluminescent, and once something ingests them, they will burrow through their bodies until they partially reveal themselves and pulse with light. This, in turn, draws in larger hosts, and once a host large enough to sustain a generation is found, they breed and restart the grotesque cycle anew. Approaching these creatures is ill-advised, as their revealing nature puts you at risk of being seen by larger creatures. As mentioned before, none of these creatures are true fish. They are labeled with misnomers from when they were not fully identified. We are still seeking proper names to separate them from this inaccurate title. If you have ideas, feel free to leave them in the suggestion box beneath this television, and if we like them enough, they may be forwarded to the higher-ups for further consideration. We appreciate your contributions to the project, and look forward to moving forward with fresh faces like yourself at the helm. As always, stay safe. It's a strange world out there.